Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome to the family. My name is Brittany, and on this channel, we keep it cute, we keep it classy, and we definitely keep it diverse. We talk about books, writing, the publishing industry, and sometimes we even throw in cozy games, but who knows here? We do it all. This video, we are going to be doing a review. I'm going to be talking about Tenderly I Am Devoured by Lyndall Clipstone. Y'all, this book, you are not ready. Without further ado, let's get into it. So, Tenderly I Am Devoured. Let us look at this beauty. I loved this book. After being bullied, and by bullied I mean lovingly, asked to read the arc that I got. I also I'm gonna make sure that I get it right because I always confuse epic reads and fierce reads. Please don't judge me. I'm a struggler, okay? Let me just. This is fierce reads. After I bothered fierce reads and To the Ends of the Earth, they let me have an arc. Yeah. I'm also like really bad at this and still getting used to YouTube, so please don't judge me. But we are trying. Okay, we are trying. And we're gonna talk about Tenderly I Am Devoured. But first, I'm on Lyndall's Instagram. She's wonderful, and if you haven't read her first duology, Lake's Edge and Forestfall, it's more of a dark academia. This is like a light academia, but also very, very good. Like if you're into like the Nosferatu type movies, check that out. But we're also going to be talking about Tenderly I Am Devoured, and I'm going to go through the list of like tropes and vibes that she has given us for this book. So it's flower-threaded horror, Saltburn vibes, who did this to you, and it hits. If you're a who did this to you girly, A+. This is also a male female polycule. This is upper YA and NA. Heartbreak to Lovers, which it hit. The Secret History-esque bacchanal. It's dark academia meets cottagecore, sapphic sleepovers, soft girl heroine, betrothal to the swan god, and it feels like a fever dream. I do believe this is like a retelling-esque of the swan god story. I forget what it's called. Don't judge me. I have 3 brain cells. None of them ever work. But she also said it's for fans of Saltburn, For the Wolf, and The Secret History, and it is an upper YA standalone. So let's get into it. It's very I am wearing my bow. I do have my bow in today. I do. Let's talk about it. This book, the first thing that got to me was easily the dedication. There's something about a good dedication that it just like it sits right, and like this one is so simple. It's just for the quiet dreamers. Like it cuts so deep because I feel like that's me oftentimes. I don't like to voice what I want to do or my dreams, so I was kind of like, oh, okay, we're starting strong. She's talking to me. It starts with our main character, Lacrimosa, aka Lark, and it's told somewhat in like a dual timeline. You kind of bounce between now and then, and she's in school. She has these 2 brothers. They're from this little town called Verse, and they worship the salt god, and they have this mine, but they're struggling to pay off debts because the mine is like dried up. So she makes a deal with the salt god to basically be his wife if he'll give the salt back. But I feel like I should like read the actual blurb for this while I'm talking about it. But Therion is their god, the salt god. He's also like swan-like, which is, I don't know. I love him. This book, like, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, and how much I truly loved it. It is one of those books that, like, when you are friends with somebody and then you fall in love with them and then you, like, lose them, but they come back, like, very much giving the vibes of This Love by Taylor Swift. Like, just, I eat it up. I also love the fact that, like, it's super inclusive. I don't want to speculate because I don't believe Lyndall has ever said, like, what Lark's sexuality is, but as a pansexual girly myself, I very much love this. I love that it's a polycule, that no matter what, love is love, and, like, she's technically in love with two siblings. Nothing happens between the siblings. I'm just getting that out there. Nothing happens between the siblings. She's just dating both of them. There's just so much hidden in this, and she's a quiet main character, but she's so strong in herself, and, like, she goes through so much, and she just so badly loves everyone and wants people to like her. And I think there's something to be said about books that have, like, a quiet main character but who still shows strength and resilience, and that's very much Lark. So let's get into and read the blurb. It says, perfect for fans of Saltburn for the Wolf and House Hollow, Tenderly I'm Devoured is a moody, monstrously gothic romantasy in which a young woman must bind herself to a dangerous chthonic demon with the help of the son of a rival family to save her family's legacy and herself from ruin. Expelled from her prestigious boarding school following a violent incident, 18-year-old Lacrimosa Ariskane returns home in disgrace to discover her family on the point of financial ruin. Desperate to save them, she accepts a marriage of convenience to Therion, the chthonic god worshipped by Lark's isolated coastal hometown. But when her betrothal goes horribly wrong, Lark begins to vanish from the mortal realm. Her only hope is to seek help from Alistair Felamath, the brilliant, arrogant boy who was her first heartbreak, and his alluring older sister, Camille. As the trio delve into the folklore of gods, Lark falls under the spell of the Felamath siblings. Ensnared by a fervent romance, they perform a bacchanalia with hopes the hedonistic ritual will repair the connection between Lark and her bridegroom. Instead, they draw the ire of something much darker, which seeks to destroy Therion, and Lark as well. And, y'all, if you loved books like A Study in Drowning, also gives these vibes, you will love this. I can't sing enough praises about this book. There's just something to be said about this type of dark / light academia, and this very, like, it's definitely a romantasy. There's definitely a lot of romance, there's fantasy elements, but it also at times feels like magical realism, because it is, like, rooted in a grounded world, but definitely with fantasy. Yeah, like, there's so many things that I can say, and I don't want to give it away. Like, I don't want to be, like, spoilery or anything like that, but it's truly a book that, like, you really go on a journey. You start at the very beginning, and you're taken in by Lark and her situation and her brothers, and then you meet Alistair, and you finally at some point get to meet Camille, and then you hear about her friends back at school and what happened there, and, like, you feel this vengeance for Lark. At least I did, personally. Like, I felt like I wanted to defend her because she so badly wants to be liked and has all of these, like, dreams and aspirations, and you want to be there with her. Like, I wanted to be her friend. Like, I wanted to be her bestie. I wanted to go shopping with her. I wanted to wear her cute little outfits. Like, it's hard to describe a book that, like, it just feels fluid when you're reading it. Like, it takes you out, you know, like you're fully transported into that world. And that is how I felt. What Lyndall does is she's able to capture such emotion that it's hard not to evoke the same emotion in you. And that's how it felt when I was reading. Like, I felt like I was living it myself. And her prose is beautiful, and I love the way that she writes in general, but it's very visceral, and you feel it, but, like, it's not just, you know, like, oh, that's you know, like, you read some books, and it's a very surface level feeling, like, you feel it, but, you know, it's not like that it cuts deep. This cut deep. Like, I felt everything. I felt for Lark, I felt for Alistair, I felt for Camille. Like, each character goes through their own journey. And I love when not only, like, the main character has their own journey, but, like, the love interests have their own journey. And even the side characters get their own journey. It really just, it puts you in that world. And you watch when they overcome that adversity, and you feel for them when they can't, or when they first go through it and they're first struggling. And that's what Lyndall does best. Pulls you into that so that you're really, truly, like, you feel it. Like, you feel like it happens to you. And I think that's one thing that Tenderly does so well, is it pulls you into that world. And you want to be with them. And, like, you don't want to leave. Like, I was ready to pack up and move to Verse. That's all I wanted to do. I wanted to take myself and put myself into Verse and never ever leave. Basically, was how I was thinking about it. And I think that's something that's really beautiful about this book, is you get that, and you feel that, and you feel like you are Lark at times. And I was transported. I was transfixed. From the first page to the very last page, there was nothing that I would change about this book, besides the fact that I'm not in it, that I can't live there, that I can't go be friends with these people, that I can't become Lark. And, like, to be honest, I would even give it up for Therian. So, like, they're just all, I want them all, basically, is how I'm putting it. But that's the spoiler-free part. There's a few quotes that I am one of those people that with books I love to highlight things. So I'm going to pull up my journal and read a few of my favorite quotes, like, just to give you a little taste of the writing. One of my favorites is, Alistair looks at me like I'm an altar, and he's laying out shells one by one, lighting candles as he whispers a prayer. And it's just like, it's that type of writing that it pulls you in, and you feel it. And you feel the romance so powerful. Or, she is the sunlight as it fragments over the waves and turns everything gold. Alistair is the indigo depths beneath the surface, a riptide, sleek and ensnaring. She's talking about Alistair and Camille. So it's just, it's stuff like that like, it hit, and it hit so good. And I loved every part of it. Like, it was one of those books for me that once I finished it, I wanted to dive right back in immediately. I needed to know everything. Like, I could not stop. Every page, every chapter, I was just in. I was in it. And I feel like I haven't, like, taken that kind of journey with a YA fantasy book in a while. It kind of made me feel the same way, like, I felt reading Sweet Night. Like, it was this journey, and I was there, and it was just intense, and I couldn't stop. From the first page to the last page, like, it was everything. It was incredible, and I loved it, and I want to go on for days and years and months about this book. I won't bore you with all of that. But it comes out in July. You will not be disappointed. especially like if you like Saltburn, For the Wolf, A Study at Drowning. This also comes out in March, but also Fable for the End of the World. Like if you like Ava Reed, if you like Hannah Witten, anything like that, definitely check this one out. You are going to love it. You will then want to be in your own era. I have maybe convinced myself if I wear bows, I will become Lark. So that's where we're at. Yeah, but that's my review of Tenderly I'm Devoured. I loved it. The character development is great. The plot is great. The pacing is fantastic, and you cannot go wrong with anything that Lyndall writes. And what's coming up soon? I'm gonna do books that'll keep you warm for the winter. We're gonna do a reading vlog of me reading Don't Let the Forest In by C.G. Drews. But if you have any recs or any things that you'd like me to review, to talk about, I'm all ears. I am all ears. Thank you for sticking with me through this review. Thank you for once again coming and clicking on this video. It means a lot to me. I've loved all of your comments and all of the love on my first video, so I hope you guys have enjoyed this one. If you did, feel free to like it, comment, subscribe, do all of those fun things, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, friends!